Hello everyone, welcome back to a game from the finals of the Speed Chess Championship between Nakamura and Wesley So. Nakamura was the heavy favorite to win this match, but things were quite tightly contested in the 5 and 3 minute portion of the match. But it was in the bullet section where Nakamura showed his dominance, and he eventually went on to win this match. So Nakamura is officially the 2018 Speed Chess Champion. So today's game is from the 5 minute portion, and Wesley had the white pieces in this game. Wesley opens with e4. e5 was Nakamura's reply, and then we have the Gioco Piano on the board, bishop c5 from Nakamura. Wesley castled, knight to f6. We have d3 defending the e4 pawn, d6. Here's c3 from Wesley So. Nakamura castled, and here both sides play h3 and h6 respectively, just to stop the bishops from pinning the knights. Rook e1 played from Wesley So, and we have rook to e8. So an almost symmetrical position, except that white has a pawn on c3 instead of a knight. So here Wesley plays the move knight b to d2, so might be preparing to reroute the knight to g3. And then we have a5 from Nakamura, stopping white from going b4, also allowing the bishop to drop back at some point. Knight f1 played, bishop to e6, challenging white's strong bishop on c4. Here Wesley takes on e6, f takes e6, knight to g3, and queen to d7, connecting rooks. Now Wesley breaks with the move d4. So that is taken. So here bishop b6 or bishop to a7 seems logical, just keeping the bishop on the very active g1 a7 diagonal. But instead Nakamura played bishop to b4, provoking this rook. Wesley played rook to e2, but now he has to play the move d5 to prevent this bishop from getting trapped, because white was threatening to go a3. If black played a4 in this position, then after a3, bishop a5, this drops a pawn, queen takes a4. So d5 played, but that does allow Wesley to establish a pawn on e5. So at the moment Wesley has a very nice space advantage, and he would, a likely plan for him would be to push this f-pawn to try and create a pass e-pawn after this f-pawn makes contact with white's pawn on e6. So here Wesley played the move b3, so maybe preparing to fianchetto his bishop, also with the idea of meeting Nakamura's next move, which was a4 with the move b4, so locking down the queen side. And now Nakamura plays knight to a7, looking to bounce this knight to b5, which would put pressure here on the d4 pawn. Queen d3 played by Wesley So, and queen to f7. Now knight to h4 from Wesley So. So besides the obvious plan of going knight to g6, white is also getting ready now, to push this, to push the f-pawn. So bishop to e7 played, attacking the knight. Knight comes to g6, so that is challenged with knight to f8. So Wesley takes on e7, and then he plays f4. Queen g6 from Nakamura, trying to trade queens. So here the immediate f5 seems strong, trying to create a passed pawn. But Wesley didn't go for this, maybe because he was afraid of the pin on the knight after rook to f7. But here black has no immediate way of exploiting this. If he tries to move the knight in order to bring the rook over to f8 to pile up on the pinned knight, here white simply has knight to e7, which would open up a discovery on the queen. So after the move queen to g6, queen f3 played by Wesley, so getting ready to set up this f5 break. Rook to f7 played from Nakamura. We have rook to f2, knight to b5 attacking here, so bishop to b2, knight to d7, and here f5. So things are looking quite promising for Wesley after e takes f5. Queen takes d5 played, so now threatening to go e6. Notice that this knight on g3 is also undefended. So here Nakamura plays the move c6, defending his knight on b5, also kicking the queen back. So here queen to f3 sort of defends the knight, and white has a very pleasant position here. He is just going to use this past central pawn. But after c6, Wesley played queen back to a2, trying to maintain the pin on this rook, but this puts the queen in a very awkward position. So here queen takes g3 plate, and Wesley played e6 trying to win back the piece. Rook to e7, e takes d7 with check, king h7. And here d5 from Wesley trying to break up the pawns on the queen side. Rook d8 plate, d takes c6, b takes c6. Queen to b1, trying to bring the queen to a better square, also with tempo on this pawn on f5. So knight d6 plate to defend this pawn, and queen to c2, so getting ready to bring this rook into the game. So rook e takes d7 plate from Nakamura, rook a to f1. So here knight to e4 is a very natural move and also a very strong one. If rook takes f5, then queen to e3 check. And well, things are looking quite dangerous here. If king to h1, then knight to g3, but here after king to h2, this knight and the queen are a very dangerous attacking combo, and here just rook to d2, threatening queen g3 check, and then queen takes g2, and this is looking lost for Wesley So. So after this rook a to f1, knight to e4 would have been crushing, but here queen b3 plate by Nakamura trying to neutralize any danger in the position. So queen takes c6 was played, and now Nakamura gets in the knight to e4. And now with the queen and the knight working against the white king, this is going to be a lethal combination. Rook takes f5 plate, queen to e3 check, king h2. So again, if king h1, then knight g3. So here rook to d2, and black's attack is too strong, just threatening queen g2 and queen g3 and g2. So here rook to f3 was played by Wesley So, but after queen to e2, threatening here, white doesn't really have a good defense. Wesley played rook to g3, but simply knight takes g3, and Wesley resigned. So this bishop on b2 is also hanging. White is going to be down too much material. A very nice game from both players, and congratulations to Hikaru Nakamura for winning the 2018 Speed Chess Championship. So, as usual, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great day.